5-month review for the Corsair K95 RGB. I'm happy to report that I have had no dead LEDs. The colours are outstanding, really good, but the LEDs aren't all that bright. The design of the board actually allows for the colours to come out very nicely, so while it doesn't have the whiteboard of say the Razer BlackWidow, the colours do stand out and they do look amazing. In fact, these colours are actually better than the BlackWidows, which come out as more pastel sort of pale version of what the colours should be. And something that this has that the BlackWidow doesn't, smooth gradient colours, so when you put it on rainbow effect, it's smooth, it looks amazing. The BlackWidow tends to be very jerky, as in it'll change the key colour immediately, it won't go to a smooth gradient, and I can't find any way to do that. So this is a real plus, being able to just see the smooth rainbow gradients going through the keyboard. Just so you can see what I'm talking about, here's the BlackWidow with the pastel colours. Now let's have a look at the Corsair K95. While you might not be able to see it properly on camera, the colours are definitely better on the Corsair. And here's what it looks like when it's doing the rainbow cycle. You can see that it's very step, step, step. It's not a smooth gradient at all. Watch as the red goes past. So I definitely prefer the Corsair's lighting. Up the top here you have the macro record and the 3 profile switches, so profile 1, profile 2 and profile 3, which I have the rainbow one. On the other side you have the brightness control with 3 stages. Next to the lock there's number lock, caps and of course scroll lock. Dedicated media keys, you can mute here, stop, etc. there, and you have the volume here which shows up on screen, just giving you an indication of what the volume is. The build quality isn't plasticky, it's actually some kind of metal. Bit of a brushed finish. So the keyboard just feels solid. Apart from on the K95, where you do have the extra keys, this is just a plastic attachment. So it seems like they've just taken a K70 and then added the extra keys here. Which is fine, it's not a problem, it hasn't affected me at all, it is just something to mention. I think they could have done a bit better on the quality on that. It's a heavy duty, high quality cable. There are 2 USB plugs on it, but you only need those if you're using USB 2.0. If you're just plugging it into a USB 3 on your motherboard, then just plug one in. The reason is that you need extra power from the USB 2 to actually power the lights. There's no extra USB slot or headphone jack or mic jack on the side of this keyboard or on the back, so if that's something you need in a keyboard, you might want to look for another one. However, a quick tip, if you are using a USB port on your keyboard for your mouse, there is going to be some input lag. I would recommend if you're gaming, definitely don't do that unless you absolutely have to. You're much better off plugging the mouse directly into the motherboard. The wrist rest is sort of plastic with a bit of a rubber finish. It actually feels really good. These little holes are a bit annoying to clean at times, but as you can see, it stayed fairly clean. I haven't done too much with it. Just every now and then something will get stuck in there. It feels very comfortable having your hand resting there. It is just one big flat panel, so no matter where you put your hands, you're always going to have a nice comfortable space. And for the people who don't like a wrist rest, you can take this off. Now these are the Cherry MX Reds, so that means they don't have a tactile feedback. Once you press it in, it just collapses completely and it has 0 feedback. The only time you're going to know it's pressed in is when you've actually pressed it all the way down. In this way, the browns are actually a bit better, but I still prefer the reds because they are very, very quiet. I have put O-rings on these, so have a listen. Very, very quiet for a mechanical keyboard. One thing I think Razer got right was extending the key size just a little bit in length. So the width is the same, but they're just a bit taller this way. And that allows for easier typing, you rarely miss a key, whereas I find on the Corsair I just slip just a little bit. I mean, these are very much standard keys, so whatever you're used to. However, I think Razer have gone in the right direction by increasing them just a bit, and I hope maybe in the future we'll get more keyboards just like that. But for now, these keys are outstanding, very high quality, and they're great to type on. Now, as for the software, the rumors are true, it is very difficult to use. However, you can do so much with it, it's actually kind of worth learning about it. Now you can get these keys opening folders. You usually assign your action, but I've already got one, so I'll just go down to edit. What you want to do is put run the following program, Then you're going to need whatever command is going to work with your operating system. This is Windows 10, so that's the system root. Open Explorer, which is a file explorer, and then in the program arguments you put the folder address with the drive letter 2. Now in the new version I believe they removed this, so you might actually have to put the folder address after this. Don't quote me on that though, I actually reverted back to this version of the software because I didn't like that change. The other thing you'll notice is that when you're switching to modes, all your keys that you configure here will be lost for the new modes. So the way to go around that is right click and clone to all modes in the profile. So that just means that you'll be able to have all your keys the same without having to reassign them for every mode that you do. And if you're changing color profiles a lot, this will definitely save you a lot of time. Speaking of changing color profiles, what you want to do is import lightings. If you change the entire mode, then you're going to lose all your keys, but if you just add new lighting modes to the different profiles that you have, then at least you can clone all the keys from the previous mode that you were using. If you assign a whole new one, then you're going to have to redo them all. In fact, once you actually have your keys set up, it's wise to save the entire profile, like export them. You can do that just by import export up here. As I said earlier, you can just attach the wrist rest with this little screw here. Underneath the board you do have the feet that go out, none on the bottom here, and no cable management system. So if you can, please hit that like button for me, it does help the videos come up in search results better. Also share and subscribe, I do a lot of mouse review and keyboard review videos, and I'll also add some more gaming videos too. So after 5 months use, I can definitely recommend this board, really enjoying it. And they've actually come down in price a fair bit since I bought mine, so they might actually be in your price range now if you are on a bit of a budget. If you'd like a sound test with these keys without O-rings and with O-rings, just click the link on the screen now, that'll take you to my other video. So I hope that helps. Any questions or comments, just leave them below, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next video.